This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out, joined by Colm Murphy here in Belfast. Colm, first of all, thank you very much for your time, and how's everything?
Yeah, all good. Just looking forward to the fights at the weekend and being a spectator. I'm sure you are too, and that's why you're over it.
Yeah. How do you reflect on your professional career so far? 14 fights deep now, there's been a lot of tests in there, but a hell of a lot of success as well. How do you reflect on the journey so far?
Really, when I just look back, I feel really blessed to have gotten this far. Like, I always remember talking to myself at the start of the career, and I was like, imagine you went 15-0, and now it's like I'm actually on the brink of it, and it's just like, wow. Yeah, like even when I was like 5-0, I remember thinking that too. So, yeah, I'm just really feeling blessed for it all. But at the end of the day, I've worked my butt off to get here, and once you've worked so hard to get here, you realise you owe it to yourself to see it all out, no matter what. And you know, down the line there could be some hard fights, some up against it ones, but this is what you worked for to get to that stage.
How did you first get into boxing? What was your earliest memory of boxing?
My earliest memory was when me and my brother watched Rocky movies, and then we had a spar, wee Mickey Mouse one out the back, and other kids in the neighbourhood thought we were nuts. But nothing really came about from that till a few years, and we were talking to my dad, and then one day me and him just had like a wee play scuffle in the house, and he was like, "You've got some dig on you," so brought me to a local boxing club in West Belfast, and he promised me he'd buy me 20 chicken nuggets from McDonald's after. So that was the initial motivation, and you know, I enjoyed the training, and a lot of people in my school, which was a kind of posh rugby school, were kind of telling me like, "You're terrible" before I'd even started, and that gave me a wee bit of motivation to kind of prove them wrong. And now they're all actually sending me messages of support. So yeah, I'm getting behind me, which is amazing.
How important is it when you have people doubting you and saying, you can't do this, you can't do that? How important is it, and how good is how good is that feeling when you've proven them all wrong? Because that's exactly what you've done. They've said you couldn't be a professional boxer or be a boxer at all. Now you're sat here 14-0, on the verge of fighting for some major titles in the sport. It's got to be a good feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Even growing up, like when I was doing my GCSEs and like A levels, teachers always told me like to go for like the C's and all, and I ended up actually achieving a lot more than that, and that's always been like a feel-good moment for me. So definitely, there's been a lot of doubts in my career from myself and other people, and just proving them wrong step by step. You know, once this is all said and done, I can probably sit back and be like, yes, I gave it a go, and I did everything that I could have, and I reaped a lot of success, even though everyone doubted me. So that's what I intend to keep doing.
Can you remember your first amateur fight? And if so, what was that feeling like of that first ever fight, that first competitive bout that you had?
So I would have been a wee bit late to boxing. I was 14, and I just remember like beforehand, like trying to eat a few hours before, and I just couldn't eat. It was just, I felt sick, and was shaking like a leaf. On top of that, I actually had my opponent messaging me beforehand on Messenger, and he was like, "I'm fighting you tomorrow. I've been boxing 5 years and all," and stuff like that, like trying to intimidate me. And I ended up boxing the head of him, and so that was a real feel-good moment from the start, to be honest. But I'll never forget that. Like, it's still hard, the nerves still get you, but I do know it's just my body getting ready for the moment.
How important is it to have nerves? Because I can't remember who said it, but I've seen people say in the past, once those nerves have gone, it's like you've almost lost that passion for it. So as long as you've got the nerves still before a fight, you know that you're still passionate about it, it's still what you want to do. How important is it to still feel those nerves? Because they can have some benefits, can't they?
Yeah, definitely. It's really it is. It's just arousal, your body getting ready for the moment that's coming, and that's how you have to. So really, if you're not, I know some people can be dead relaxed, but for me personally, I need that wee bit of psych to get ready for what it is. Because at the end of the day, especially for last comp, like it's like 3 months of your life that you've just sacrificed away to perform for 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be ready to give it your all from that moment.
Absolutely. What would you like to achieve in 2025? We're still early in the year, just about to turn into March. What would you like to achieve this year?
I would like to get another belt. I don't know if it would be like an international belt or obviously I've got Commonwealth silver, so I'm looking to push on and fight for actual Commonwealth and potentially British. But I know what boxing's like. It's a business game Do you know what I mean? And I understand I'm not like too big or like a star or like, you know, with a big following. So I do know that, you know, I've got a good manager who's going to make moves for me, but you just have to be patient, do you know what I mean, and trust the process.
Absolutely. Just a couple big fights in boxing that I would like to get your thoughts on. Actually, I want to get your thoughts on Beterbiev Bivol first of all. Last weekend, we saw the clash that they had back in October last year, and two styles that gel so well together that no one will ever agree on who the real winner is. What did you make of the rematch at the weekend?
I thought it was unbelievable. It was. I thought initially that Beterbiev would actually win more decisively, going by the first few rounds, by the pressure that he was applied. But fair play to Bivol, so you know, his trump cards to be able to get the victory, and I think he did. He won it by more decisively than the last time out, and it was a great fight, and it's one of those things. In my eyes, there's no real loser. Do you know what I mean? It's really boxing wins.
Do you feel there is need for a trilogy between the two?
Not really, but you know, because in my eyes, it's like obviously for point and pride, but you know, you could probably pit them off again 10 times and there'd be different results. The only thing I could really argue about is Beterbiev is in his 40s, so it's like he's not going to get better with time. Do you know what I mean? And the training camp that I imagine they're putting in, like, it takes its toll on his body, and even for the first fight, like, that training camp might have took it out of him for the second camp. So yeah, like, but obviously for pride reasons, they probably do want to just do a third, so someone comes out on top.
And then, just lastly, another big fight. We've seen a big press tour for it this week. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. We've seen it make headlines this week due to Chris Eubank Jr. egging Conor Benn at a press conference, unbelievably. A difficult matchup to decide with it being a middleweight versus a welterweight. Who do you see as the favourite, who will come out on top on the night?
Well, see, the thing is, I don't know what weight are they doing? Like, as in, like, is there a rehydration clause or?
It's they're fighting at middleweight, but there's a rehydration clause in place for just Chris Eubank Jr. So he's not allowed to weigh in over 170 pounds the second day. So on 9 o'clock on the Saturday morning, he's got to weigh in anything less than 170 pounds. Otherwise, there'll be a fine or some sort of punishment there for him.
If he adheres to that, I think Conor Benn would get the win, because I don't think that's a very healthy thing for Chris Eubanks. If he doesn't adhere to it, I think Eubanks would win.
Do you feel there's not any worry that Eubank Jr. might be too big for Conor Benn, in the sense of the typical saying is there's weight classes and weight divisions for a reason?
Honestly, just by the look at Conor Benn, you could argue that they'll both be sitting around the same weight. I think Conor Benn cuts more weight than Eubanks, so that's my thinking of it. So if I was Eubanks, I wouldn't be adhering to any rehydration. I can understand why it's in place, but I just don't agree with it.
Fair enough, Colm. Just lastly, from yourself, have you got any fans, sponsors that you'd like to thank, especially as you're entering, I'd say, what is the biggest stage of your career so far, especially if you are targeting a Commonwealth British title? It's a very big stage of your career. Any fans, sponsors you'd like to thank quickly?
Yeah, but that's it. I want to thank all my sponsors. You know who you are. I actually didn't know I was coming for an interview today, so I would have my sponsor top on. So I'm sorry that I don't have it, but you all know who you are. Thank you very much.
Colm, really appreciate your time, and best of luck this year in your career.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.